Hello everyone, my name is Bridget, and today we're going to be talking about how to receive. How to receive in relationships, all kinds of relationships, how to receive from the universe, how to receive from Mother Earth. Receptivity, that feminine yin quality, whether you're male, female, or however you define yourself, this is a critical piece. Often, especially fourth density beings that are connected more to the giving archetype of martyrdom and will even self-sacrifice themselves in that level of consciousness, it isn't necessarily helpful. There is a place for it, but ideally to go to the next level of consciousness, we need to make sure that we're full, our cup is full, as well as we put on our mask first, right, on the airplane, and then we help someone else put theirs on next. We're overflowing so that then we can truly give from a very authentic, balanced place, which is only possible when we open to receiving for our cup to actually be full. So a lot of us might be givers. I'm a big giver, but when it comes to receiving, guilt might come up, shame might come up, not feeling worthy, nervous about the conditions. Like if I receive from you, what does that actually mean that I'm agreeing to? And my favorite, my 20-year-old's favorite, that you can do it all on your own. You don't need anyone else's help. So I want to outline 5 different ways to help soften, open, shift your perspective around receiving so that you can open to more of the joy of the universe and the fellow humans in your lives, gifts that they have for you. Now, I'm leaving the deepest and the juiciest stuff for last, so be sure to watch all the way through to the end of this video so that you capture everything. And be sure to go down below and click and grab my free meditation to connect with more of yourself, to connect with your soul. To connect with your soul blueprint, go check that out and grab that meditation for free. So the first way that I recommend receiving and beginning to open this conduit of energy is with the earth, is with your spirit guides, is with the universe, things that are not humans, okay? Because oftentimes this connection to lack of receiving and this weirdness that we have, because ideally in a healthy way, there's a balanced ebb and flow of giving and receiving and reciprocity in all human dynamics. Now, because of certain things that might have happened in your childhood, different traumas, blah, 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 that might not be there, whether you identify with that or not. And so the best place to start is actually connecting with unconditional energies that overflow and are giving in this abundant manner so that those blockages don't come up around receiving. So I love to do this in a million different ways. The first primary way in this is asking. Okay, that's part of it, is actually asking to receive, because particularly when you're working with higher dimensional beings, when you're working with the earth, those levels of consciousness operate on free will, which means that they will do their best to give to you, but they can only really go for it when there is permission granted. So the first step in this receptivity is sitting on the earth, is sitting in meditation, connecting with the divine, connecting with spirit, whoever you're going to connect with that isn't a human, and saying, I am ready, I am willing. You can even bring forth those things that you might be feeling. I feel guilty, this feels strange, I don't feel worthy. You can say those things out loud or in your head to yourself and say, and I'm still open to receiving, to allowing, to letting in that which is good, that which is beneficial, and just allowing that energy then to start streaming in. This safe, beautiful energy from earth, from the divine, from whoever you connect with, from light, from spirit, and just really allowing that energy to transmit through you, allowing it to touch your heart, maybe to stream in through your crown, maybe to come up and bubble up through your feet, through your back, feeling the support. However you imagine it, just allowing that energy to really, really flow. And this is such a great way to start because it feels very safe. It's a very safe way to begin. And if there's any question about connecting with spirit guides and spirit beings, I have tons of videos on that. So go check that out. But allowing an opening to this energy is a first great start. And again, if you're not allowing an opening to the receiving, you're shutting out the universe. You're shutting out your higher self, your soul's calling, those things which want to come to you. So it's really important to open to that so that you can let in more love, more inspiration, more guidance, more light, more abundance, all the good things. So that is the first place to start if it's a bit more challenging for you to open to receiving. Now, the inspiration around this video came up at a tea date with one of my friends that I do videos with, but I won't name her right now. And we were talking about how she's still not very good at receiving. And I said, I'm actually getting pretty dang good at receiving. And then she said, well, how do you do it? And then I shared what I'm going to share in this video. I just was like, well, I've been doing this and this, and so this is where this idea and inspiration came up to share with you today. Now, I want to note, before we get into this, that I sucked at receiving. So even if you're pretty good at it, or if you're not very good at it either, just know that I have overcome this, and that's where I'm coming from in this. And so I've got you, and I'm with you on this journey as we go into deeper levels of receptivity. I was so sucky. Okay, an example, just quick example, is I was dating a guy right out of college when I was 22, and we were moving in together, and I felt so bad. I wanted to do everything on my own. I didn't want anyone else to give to me, which is what we're going to get into more of that in just a minute, to the degree that he said, okay, when you arrive with your car, please let me know so I can help you unload the whole thing. And I said, okay, sounds good. And then I got there and he was taking a nap, and I did not feel comfortable receiving from my boyfriend, to the degree that I moved the whole car, like all of my stuff, which was a lot of stuff, in by myself. And he woke up from his nap, unknowing that this was happening, and he was so mad at me. And he was like, why wouldn't you let me give to you? Why wouldn't you let me help you? And that answer would take years to address and unfold. So that might seem like a little mundane thing, but there are times in our lives where we really do need support. Emotional support, physical support, whatever it is, and it's really, really important to allow that in. We don't have to do it all on our own. So now moving on to number 2. The second way, again, we're not touching humans yet. We're just gonna go with ourselves next. So how can you give to yourself? This has been a huge, I think, consciousness shift over the past couple years, is this idea of self-love, self-care, all of those pieces where we're taking care of ourselves, filling our cup in a way that only we can know what we need and nourishes us in our own space, in our own alone time. So that can look like a million different things. That can look like a walk in nature, it can look like a nice bath, it can look like a nice meal that you make for yourself. Whatever it looks like, just taking time to take care of yourself. So you're feeding yourself, you're nourishing yourself, whatever you need to fill your cup and balance all that you output, all that you give, all that you do in the world, and come back to this space of being. So giving to yourself, self-love practices, there's so much on the internet around this, and you get the idea. So I want to move on to the other ones. But number 2 is that self-love, self-care, taking care and giving to yourself. Number 3 is saying yes. Saying yes even when you're uncomfortable. So now we're getting into human dynamics. So when someone says, hey, I'm going to pick up the bill right now, or hey, would you like me to pick that up for you or go do this thing for you, or hey, can I help you out with this certain thing, or hey, do you need a hug right now? Anything, it can be big or small, start saying yes. Even if it feels very uncomfortable, you can start with saying that. This makes me feel very uncomfortable, but I know that this is something that I need to do, so can you support me? Can I receive even in the saying of the yes? And that person will probably be like, it's fine, it's okay, and encourage this yes, this receiving process. So just starting to say yes is a huge, huge thing. You might need to type it. Ideally, it's good to say out loud. Whatever it takes to start saying yes to those little things. And it might just start little, where you're like, I can't receive something big, but I can receive something little. Start with what is little, start with what is possible, and you'll start building this self-worth, this absolute yes to yourself being full and being deserving, and it'll start stacking, and it'll really, really help in so many different ways. Because the thing that's really important to understand is that when you don't receive from another person, you're stopping their ability to give, which means you're stopping reciprocity. So you're giving, but the other person can't give. Them giving is a way for them to connect, is a way for them to share love. It's a way of creating intimacy, actually. And that's might be one of the reasons why you didn't feel comfortable receiving, is because then it could mean things didn't get safe when things got closer. Or maybe in the past it was conditional with family members or previous partners or friends, that they were only going to give something if you had to then do something in return. There was this exchange, and there's a lot of that in the world. There's creepy exchanges happening covertly, culturally. So it's like, oh, I understand, I don't want to be a part of that, but it's so important for this giving and receiving to take place so that connection can take place, so that the other person can actually give in that receiving space, which is a gift for them. So think of it this way if you want to. You're actually giving to them by receiving, if you need to think of it that way in the beginning. Now, a lot of this goes back to early childhood. A lot of this goes back to your connection with mom. I'll be getting into this in future videos. I like sprinkling it in to start planting seeds of this idea. For now, we're going to keep it general. So this number 3, and saying yes to the little ways of receiving, is a great first step in your relationship dynamics of all kinds. Number 4, and this is an advanced one, all right? I'm going to just throw out this advanced one to you, which is actually receiving the exact thing you need. Okay, go with me on this for a second. This is so juicy. This is so beautiful, precious, and intimate. It's the idea of getting clear enough in yourself, which takes a lot of self-honesty, self-respect, a fullness, a giving to yourself to get to this point. But to get to this point where you can actually ask precisely for what you need. Now, this is a form of receiving, and it's actually incredibly helpful, especially in different relationship dynamics, because the other person often has no idea what you maybe need or what would be helpful to give you. And they want to give to you because there are givers in the world. So it's like, how can I give to you? And you can kind of reference culturally like a man going, what do you need, woman? And then the woman's like, and just kind of freaking out. And he doesn't know quite what to do. And she doesn't know what she needs. She just knows that she's upset. So that's the unconscious version. But what we're going for is for you to get to the point where you know that you won't take too much, right? That's part of it. Is it's like, if I start receiving, I don't want to take too much. Again, this so goes back to early childhood. And so trusting yourself that you won't. Trusting yourself that you are balanced, that you will take care of the things that you need, that you will make sure to balance the reciprocity with all of your relationship dynamics so that it doesn't just all fall into one person, and that you're doing all your different personal work and keeping balance in all different categories of your life so that when a need does come up, I need support with this new job thing that I'm doing, or I need you to help me on this house project, or I'm going through this emotional thing right now and I really just need you to sit with me and be with me and hold me. Whatever those different things are in any category of your life, spiritually, emotionally, physically, that you can then say, okay, I'm gonna need some more support, and this isn't gonna come from spirit necessarily, and it would be really helpful through this person, this relationship dynamic I have. So being able to speak that and ask for that precisely is an absolute gift to the other party in the relationship dynamic. And then they go, yes, I can hit the nail on the head of exactly and precisely what that other person is needing and gift them in a way that will nourish a really deep part of where they're at right now and what they need. So this is such a good way. So however you can do this to come into more balance, come in more clarity, and then ask for those things that you need is an amazing way of receiving precisely in relationship dynamics. And the fifth and final one is a wonderful one, which is opening up to the receptivity of the unknown, of the universe. So oftentimes the mystery is a little uncomfortable. Uncertainty is uncomfortable for us. While at the same time, if it's something positive coming in our direction, an unexpected wonder, then it's wonderful. So being open to wonderful things coming to you, to receiving great synchronicities, opportunities, relationships, all the different things that you want coming to you, to open to it in a way that isn't boxed in with exactly how you think that it should be. When we try to have the universe gift us something, or people gift us something in a way that is confined, it doesn't allow things that can be even better, possibly, or even more helpful to come to us. So allowing always, also just in your consciousness, in your heart, in your fields, in your energy, things beyond your imagination to flow to you and to receive those things as well. So that's number 5. So those are my 5 ways, my 5 tips of moving into a place within yourself that is more able to receive deeply from the universe, from yourself, from your relationships, to make you more whole so you can overflow and give from a more balanced and beautiful place. Click below, comment below of ways that you have opened to be more receptive to receiving in your life. I would love to hear them. Be sure to click the like button, be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell button so you get notifications every time I do new videos, and I will see you next time with another video. Thank you so much for watching.